Chapter 3 is dusk and the sun is setting, all orange like creamsicle. Rays of light, late afternoon light shine through the treehouse windows, and the little wind shine from home goods I hung out from is stinging away. I'm huddled over the busted walkie, tried to repair it with a new tiny little screwdriver. No, it's called a walkie, not a walkie-talkie. I think my repair job is gonna be pretty well. Zap, bzz, yowzers. The walkie communicates with only one person, Quint Baker. Quint Baker is my best friend, my only friend. When I moved to Walkville last winter, Quinn was the only kid who talked to me. When you're a foster kid and you bounce around all the place, you become used to getting by without friends. But Quint and I were like some Legos. We just clicked. Quint gave me the walkie and half of a pair for my birthday. Best birthday present I ever got since my foster parents were no way giving me a cell phone, and Quint's nusto parents were convinced cell phones made their brain melt. The walkies were the only way Quint and I could take outside school. But now, I'm afraid Quint is gone. The day everything happened, well, we split up. He's probably zombified or headed out west with everyone else in the town. When everything first happened, I heard it was a fast, safer out west, but I hadn't heard anything about that since, like day 4, so who knows. But still, there's a chance Quinn is alive, somewhere, and his walkie could reach him, so I cannot quit. 7 finger burns later. I get the walkie working. I squeeze the button and it lets out a soft hiss that tells me it's transmitting. Quint, it's Jack. Finally, got my walkie working. I had no idea if you're out there, but if you are, well, let me know, buddy. Getting a little lonely over here. I wait a few minutes. No response. A few more minutes, so no response. I head to bed. My bed is a pile of sweatshirts and socks and towels in the corner of the treehouse. I pop down and curl under the blanket. It's plenty warm out still, but I need to be under a blanket when I sleep. I mean, a blanket isn't going to do anything against the wind, wrench, or dozer. But still, it just feels safer. Soon I drift off to sleep, and then I have nightmares that feel real. Nightmares about that morning 42 days ago when the monster came and everything changed. 42 days ago. It was a regular morning, early June. After school, do you want to use sticks and lightsabers and sword fight with film? If so, we can add special effects later and make our own movie. Yes, Quint. Yes, I do. School was almost over and everyone had the summer vacation fever feeling, or freedom was just around the corner. I only half had it, because summer vacation for me meant a whole lot of time at home with Robinsons, which was a receipt for 0 fun having and heavy lawn mowing duty. I remember just before it happened, the bus pulling up in front of the school. I shrugged. I'm sure we can find something your size, right, Quint? Quint looked out the window and closed eyes and started humming himself, like he wasn't involved in a snow flat. I turned back to Dirk. Maybe a rare round-headed panda bear, Then maybe closer to an impressive figure. Derek reached out and grabbed my collar. Hey, wash my jacket, I said. It's the 5th time hand-me-down. Might even be an NQ. Derek growled. Do you think you're so funny? I do. But to be fair, I also think people slipping on ice are funny. And guys getting hit in the groin. My sense of humor isn't actually suffocated. Derek about to slug me when a high-pitched scream cuts through the air. There's always screaming in the morning at school. People messing around, shoving, chasing, teasing, and girls laughing so loud it sounds like screaming. But this scream was different. It was a scream of pure horror. Derek released me, and I leaned over to Clint and pressed my face out the window. I remember thinking, this can't be a real show, right? So I said to Clint, this can't be real. It must be a prank, a joke, a reality show, right? But it wasn't. That was it. The monster apocalypse had begun. Next there was a Godzilla sounding howl. Like purr, and then the whole bus suddenly shifted. I was thrown into Dirk, and Quint was lifted out of his seat and spun out of the side. The bus driver, a nice white-haired dude, was sobbing like a newborn. The bus became darker. Something was covering the windows, wrapping around the bus. A monster hand. The monster toted the bus so the back pointed toward the sky. We all pinballed, plummeting down on the ISO, smashing against the seats. Backpacks flying through the air. We came to a sudden painful stop. Every kid on the bus piled up against the front floor in a big heap. Quint, I imagined. I could barely breathe, kids all over me, an armpit in my face, a foot over my head, an ear on my nose. Quint, what's happening? I'm not sure, Jack, Quint said. Quint always had no answer to everything. This time, he didn't. That almost scared me more than the monsters, almost. This monster, hulking paw, squeezed the bus like it was empty. Pringles can at the front door, open like a wild metal pop, dumping out us onto the parking lot pavement. The face bounced off the cement, nose bleeding, blood down on my lips and my tongue. I scrambled to my feet, pulling Quint with me, leading us away from the thick crowd, and screaming and the crying. This is a nightmare now. That was a nightmare then. I got to Burrowings and looked around. Total monsters, zombie chachas. One single beautiful angel's face stood out in the mess of fleeing people. June del Torto. I stopped the zombie, stumbling toward her, coming up from behind. June! I screamed, my voice crackling as I streamed to shout across the parking lot. Behind you! June turned, dodged, and stumbling, following zombie. Left it sprawled out onto the ground and darted inside the school. We locked eyes, and then the door slammed shut. I said to myself then that whatever happened, whatever came next, somehow I get back to school and find June. Where to, Jack? Quinn asked, snapping me out of it. At Joe's Pizza, I think, is 2 or 4 slices today. Jack, be serious. Well, I don't know. Monster Zombie Cha-Cha is new to me, I guess. Run. And we did. We sprinted away from the school bus and giant monster that hordes of zombies. We hopped onto the fence in the soccer field and flew to the woods beyond it. Quint, I said, catching my breath and pulling him behind the tree. We need to find some place to go, like the police station or something. Or we need like G.I. Joe or something, Avengers to show up. Or Iron Man something. Iron Man is real, Jack. Robert Downey. G.I.'s real. I bet he could help. Jack, sorry, you're right, I said. He's probably busy being famous and stuff. Quint groaned. My parents are on vacation. I have a babysitter. I'll go to your house, assess my situation. You went to your house. I nodded. Quint held up his walkie. We stay in touch on these at all times, he said. Deal. I was trying to stay calm, be classical like Jack Sullivan. But my heart was pounding, and I felt like my whole body was shaking. When he got home, the car was gone, and there were tire marks on the driveway. My family was gone. I climbed up into the treehouse. In a panic, I sort of collapsed onto the treehouse poker table and knocked the walkie off. The walkie bounced on the floor and out through the door. I went for it, but smash. I stared at the walkie on the ground below. I needed to talk to Quint, but I'm embarrassed to admit I was too scared to go down there. Too freaked out, too overwhelmed, too everything. So I curled under the floor. I pulled a jacket down over me. I put my earphones into the drown over the sounds of the cha-chas outside. And slept. I slept for days. It got worse. Zombies everywhere, giant monsters on the horizon. I backed over the treehouse windows and stayed put. There was an old FM radio in the treehouse. For the first few days, news people tried to explain what was happening. I munched on Girl Scout cookies and potato chips while I listened to the radio guys say it was safer out west. But then, on the 5th day, there's no more radio, so again, I went back to sleep. Just like I'm sleeping now. When I finally worked out the courage to go out and do some exploring. It had been 9 days since the madness in the school parking lot. And in those 9 days, everything had collapsed. Ka-ching! A crackling, singing sound wakes me from my flashback nightmare. I blinked twice. Not sure what's happening. Not sure where it at. Again, ka-ching! What the huh? I said, sitting up, rubbing at my eyes. It's dawn. The sun is rising, blinding me. Again, ka-ching! I slowly shake off the morning confusion and remember where I am in the treehouse. 3 days after the monster class began, and then the sound, that ka-ching! I realized it's a walkie. I reach to my feet. Almost. One leg is asleep. I fall, slam my knee into the floor, but shake it off because it smelled like that. I have a sprint half limp through the treehouse. Moving so fast, I banged my head to the doorway. I practically died for the walkie. Jack, come in. Are you there? Jack, here. Jack on the mic. The voice of the other end of the walkie says, "Jack, my friend, it's me. It's Quint. Quint, he's alive." But wait, a horrible brain poisoning thought enters my mind. Could it be a zombie trap? It's a trap. Could the zombies and the monsters have started to talk? If they had, this would be the perfect route to ward my doom. So I said, Quint by the old pal. Quick question, are you alive? You're not like undead trying to trick me, are you? I'm very much alive, Jack. Phew. Wait. That's exactly what an undead Quint would say. Need to play this one cool. Quint, what's your favorite food? I asked. Brains. No! But then the walkie buzzes again and Quint says, "Hi, just kidding, friend." Brussels sprout surprise. Phew. I was so relieved my best only friend is alive that I done bust his chops out, and the fact that he's 13 years old and my favorite food is Brussels sprout surprise. "Dude, it's really you," I exclaimed. "Indeed it is. Shall we meet? I have much to show you." That's how Quint talks. He phrases himself a scientist, so apparently that means he needs to talk like an old geezer from the 1018. Don't ask. Yes, I say, hangout time. Right before all this mess. What should we do? Video games? I have a generator for electricity. It's video games, Quint says. We can play here. And you see a short time while I smile, ear to ear, literally the corner of my lip touching my ear bowl. "Quint, that's the best sentence I've ever heard in my life. We over and out." And then I really get waking up. Stretch, pee, touch my toes, hawk a loogie, splash water on my face from the bucket and the rainwater I keep aside, turn the pot of route to Quint's house, and add a new entry to my feast at epoch with success. In my treehouse command center, I have a chalkboard I now from the local elementary school after I finally remembered how brave it was and went out to explore. It was one of the giant ones that flipped around and you could write on both sides. It's super handy. Plus, it feels like an old World War II general every time I use it. Men, I will not lie to you. Not all of you will be coming back from this mission. Last week, while exploring the library, I found an old map in the town from the 1950s. I take the map and the chalkboard and sketch my own little notes with important locations. As I learn more about the monster and the general horrible things out there, I update it. Here's what I have so far. Markov Walkfield, CVS, Bar's home, Town Park. Now Dick would find tingies. Quint's house, the old factory, box factory, known dozer later. The dogs see monsters. Parker Middle School, current inhabitants unknown. Big AA Junk Palace, zombie cluster. Train tracks, home of the tentacle demon. Treehouse, you are here. The corridor, home of the stone tower monster. Old Bridge, home of the octobeast. I plot a routine to Quint's. Then I suited up. Right now, my suit is pretty extra, super terrible and lame. It's more like the last minute Halloween costume than someone actually useful for trying to survive. The only non-lame part of the outfit is the weapons. A monster slayer needs good weapons. I mostly use this busted baseball bat. The one I got barred in the head with. I call it the Lobster Slicer because it used to be a wild slugger, but now it's a splinter and sharp and slices things. And well, you get it. Wild veal slicer. Monster teeth. Razor sharp. Electrical tape for prime monster. Swinging grip. Those are guts. But I only use the lava slicer on big monsters, not on zombies. See, I have a code, and the code says I don't cut out zombies. The zombies used to be people on me. It's not their fault. They're zombies now. I'm not stabbing these things that used to be people in my head with a splinter sword thing. Just not kosher. So the zombie fighting, I use a busted old hockey stick. Just walk to the noggin and I keep moving. I used to have a wrist rocket, basically just a super slick slingshot. But our science teacher, Mr. Mandu, took it on the third day of the school. And my shoes, I really annoying that happened to my shoes. The foster mom gave me the hand-me-down shoes called white ups. They had these little red lights that flashed every time you took a step. Basically, they're for kindergarteners. The first night, I wore them out to play flashlight tag with Quinn. I realized they weren't just Dorktown. They were putting me at a tactical disadvantage. I see you, Jack. Again, you're it. Again, stupid shoes. One night after putting the worst flashlight tag stats of my career, I got to work trying to slice out the lights. But that just made them sort of hang out of the chute. And with a wall rider, and things got worse. At school, stupid Nick D. Roberts told me that his cousin, Silvo D. Roberts' ex-girlfriend, nephew Dog Walker, stepped into the puddle wearing his light ups and the water got into the lights. I electrocuted and zapped. He was fried right at that spot. Not good. So wrap the shoes in duct tape so you can see the lights. They may be ugly, but at least you can. They won't get me fried. Anyway, Prentice is looking a super genius, so I'm hoping he can give me an old get up, especially my shoes, a bit of RoboCop type upgrade, because right now this is me, and I need some help. Jack Sullivan, the hero, hockey stick for conking zombies, emergency peanut MGM pouch, grapefruit juice, hand generates a blast to the eyes, mine smells empty. Worst shoes ever. Wild veal slicer, annoying hangnail. I can't stop picking it. Chapter 4.